So when I was asked to speak, the first thing I thought about was my first day of class, what was on my mind? What was I thinking? And this was my answer. I had no idea what educational technology was. I came out here on a whim. I have an undergrad in social work, sociology, and legal studies, and I came to California to visit for about 3 weeks. I fell in love with it, never had visited San Diego. I fell in love with LA and decided, what's the cheapest way to move out to California? Go back to school. So I didn't really know much about the educational technology program. It just looked interesting, but my background was not in that in any way. So that's kind of how I began. The first couple of months I got a job, and as Marcy said, I started working for Starbucks. So I was the best barista, I think, making the best caramel macchiato you've ever had. But I couldn't design any instructional training programs, didn't know much about it. And I actually made a really good decision. So you know how they say, be careful who you interact with and make sure you're nice to everyone because you never know if they'll be your boss? That happened to me. My colleague was my boss. She is still my boss. She's actually my manager. And the first day of class, I actually sat beside her. And then a couple of months later, I asked her if the county was hiring. So I started with the county as actually a student worker. I was still in the program full time. And then 6 months later, I got hired full time. And I've been there ever since. So that's my story in a nutshell. Just to talk to you a little bit about what I do, it's actually developed quite a bit from when I first started. But these are actually some of the job requirements and skills that I have to have on the job. So you'll see here that a lot of this pertains to what you'll probably learn with the educational technology program. My main job is really designing and developing distance learning programs, including web-based training programs, support materials, and we also manage what's called a learning management system. So does everyone know what that is? Okay, great. So we manage that system, and it's for, as Marcy mentioned, over 15,000 county employees. These employees are built into different departments. We have about 46 different departments, so needless to say, it's a pretty big task that we have. And these trainings help them support all of the citizens for the county. So there's about 3 million citizens that we have for the county. I also develop instruments to assess knowledge, skills, abilities, behaviors, and analyze all of the results. So the one thing that I do love about my job is it's always something different every day. I've been working this morning since about 7 o'clock, and I was telling Patty, she works for the county as well, I had my out of office on because I was doing so many different projects as well as trying to get ready for my presentation. So it's always something different every day, and I love it. So just a couple of the projects. This is the County of San Diego website. So after you leave here, if you were to go to just the County of San Diego internet, you would see the website. We designed this project by not just looking at the look and design of it. We also did a huge analysis of our audience and looked at what are the needs that the citizens have to have, what's the most important things for them, and we put that up front. So that was a pretty extensive project. And then we tried to make it look pretty as well. Another project is the Dealing with Difficult Employees project. And this was a customer service training, and instead of just saying, okay, this employee is difficult in this way and this is difficult in another way, we like to try to be creative and make our trainings very interactive and engaging. So as you can see, we have the most wanted list here. And we have 10 different wanted employees. Here's one, Lazy Larry. Larry doesn't like hard work, it equals stress for him. And I can understand that. And then we have a list of the characteristics. Another one is we have unhygienic linen. You wouldn't think that would be a problem, but it is. So we try to add a little humor, not in all of our trainings. Like we couldn't do too much with the SHP, the sexual harassment training, as far as humor. We kind of had to stay serious on that, but we try to add a little humor in our trainings and just make them very engaging. Another one, Hostile Harry. And Hostile Harry wants to just be left alone. I can name a couple of people that are like that. And you see that we list the characteristics for Hostile Harry. And then just to show you how it goes into the training, this is an example of how you can handle Hostile Harry. And you have to figure out what's the best approach. So you can choose between the first one or the second one. And you don't want to make Harry upset. So once an employee picks, let's say if they pick the wrong one, they want to fight fire with fire because they're feisty, then Hostile Harry loses his cool. And you get an explanation of what's wrong and how you should deal with that situation. And that's designed like that for all of the characters, and it's different exercises throughout. So we don't want them to get bored as they're taking the training. The last one, and some of you have actually seen this in a previous presentation, it's our security awareness training. And this one was a pretty extensive project for us. Our county technology office actually had some serious cases where there was threats to our computer security, our data files, and they needed to make sure everyone in the county, all of our 15,000 plus employees, were trained on security awareness. So we met with the county technology office and they gave us a document about this thick and said create a training, which was a good thing because we could be as creative as we wanted to be, but then also it was a task to try to get this training done. So the way we designed this was with a Mission Impossible theme, and I'm going to show you just a few little steps on how we just made it interactive and engaging, but at the same time we got the instruction and the information across to the employee. So, let's see. So that's just the introduction, instructions.
Greetings, Agent COSD-001. We have recently learned that the county has become vulnerable to security violations. Your goal is to ensure the county's information remains secure. You will be presented with 3 missions. Fail, and the county remains susceptible to security breaches. Succeed, and you will become the county security czar. The future of the county depends on you. Good luck. You'll need it.
So this was our way of just getting the employee engaged, because it said, you're the secret agent, you have missions, and we have 3 missions, and throughout each mission they have to learn something about the security of the county. Oh yeah, if you want. And just, yeah, the next button. And I'll just show you part of mission 2. It's really brief.
Greetings, Agent COSD-001. You have received a data CD containing personal information on county employees. Your mission is to review the files on the disk and keep the files secure. You may run into various obstacles along the way. Do your best to make the right choices.
And so this goes into a little more detail about the training. We'll just leave it right here. It goes into a little more detail about the training. When they click on the CD, it's a lot of interactive exercises about you receive a data file to your email, and we won't go through any of it because it's pretty long, but it just shows you a way that we make it very engaging, very interactive, and we're still making sure that we accomplish the objectives that we set for the employee. So, lessons learned. I think the biggest thing for me is that when I started the program, I wasn't sure exactly what it was. So I made sure that I took as many of the classes that I could take in different avenues. I took some of the technical classes, I took some of the research classes, and then I found my niche. So for me, looking back, I think that helped me out a lot. My manager doesn't really do anything technical. My focus is on online training. She does a lot of project management, but at the same time, she learned a lot of skills that help her in that area as well. So for me, the biggest thing was really just trying to take as many classes as I could take, trying to find my niche, and then realizing that there's so much that you can do within this field. And the best part is, as I said earlier, it's the best thing because you just basically, your day's never the same. And I think you'll see that when you look at Antonia's here, and we actually worked with Antonia on a project, and you'll just see that everyone does something different, and it's just amazing how creative you can be, and how if you do land with a really good position, you can use all of those skills that you acquired through the program. Are there any questions? All right, thank you.